So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It's Sunday. And on the other side of that curtain, we've got ourselves a ginormous grid to get through today. And we're going to do it with a fantastic wine. This is an Edition Valentin Vogel. You can kind of see on the artwork of the bottle here, you know, clearly we're going with the avian thing, right? But this is a Trocken Riesling. So it's a dry Riesling, and I saw, and again, kind of always captured like a deer in the headlights when it comes to a cool label design, right? So I saw it, I said, oh, let's do this. And for right at about €9.50, it wasn't a terrible purchase regardless. So on the nose, oh, we've got green apples and some golden raisins here for sure. And touch of that citrus, right? You know, and maybe some cut grass. Maybe more of a cut alfalfa, but these are all tertiary at best. But it just smells so fresh and crisp, fruity yum is what it gives you on the nose. You can feel the light gaseous bubbles here. It's got a sweet vibe on the nose, but on the palate it's dry, but it is so cleanly, I mean, the finish is just so beautifully done. This is one of those day-long garden party sippers. It really is fabulous. It'd be great as a sprudel, spritzer, but on the whole, fantastic wine. Really pale, you know, it's got that very, very pale straw. Doesn't have that, you know, what that typical, that deep golden color in places that have a lot of sun, etc. But it is a wonderful wine. The minerality is incredible. If you see it on the shelf, it's your favorite seller. Hop on that one. That's a good one. It really is. Okay, so Andrew Colin Kirk, which is a new name for me, constructed today's grid. It is titled Where'd You Go? Okay, edited by Will Shorts. That's fantastic. It's a Sunday. And man, it's chilly here today, but the sun was trying to peek out, but it mostly stayed cloudy. So it is exactly what it is, but we're still fighting the winter here in northern Bavaria. So we'll get springish temperatures, as most people consider them, sometime around May, June, it feels like most of the time. So the capital of Western Australia would be Perth. And we have several community members that live down in Perth. One that comes off the top of my mind immediately is Delphine. She's down there, and she's always so supportive of our work with The Guardian. Cryptic, crosswords, etc. You know, a lot of fun there. So wine whose name is the first half of its country of origin. I think we're talking about Portugal. And port. Setting for 6 across. Well, I would have no idea. Doomed Ethiopian princess, and that would be Aida. And I'm glad we got the port there, because setting for Aida, I'm assuming we're looking for an opera now. I would have put in Egypt, which is where it's set. You know, that's the actual setting for the story. So that would have left me a little, Dueling weapons could be epes, electric appliance, button. I don't know. Stay in one's lane. One might be custom printed. Perhaps we're talking about a tea. And those are coming, by the way. Wine Down t-shirts are coming. Along with wine glasses, maybe some espresso cups. Looking into maybe doing some coasters, you know. Wouldn't mind doing coffee mugs, just so that you can tell your friends at work what an awesome experience it is to take part in our cruciverbalist journey together, right? Like some bread more suitable for panzanella, and this would be probably staler. And so I guess we got a reset button on our electronic device. Arm muscle could be a tricep. Stay in one's lane. No idea where that's going. Big pain could be a hassle. And, why not? So I think we gotta resist something. But what? Stay in one's lane? Before now could be then. So, doesn't feel like a really hugely challenging grid or anything. It's certainly far from circuitous thus far. Target, who knows? Let's see. Noted family of New York's Gilded Age. Yeah, going back to New Amsterdam, the Astors. Cliff's Notes version of Holmes and Watson stories. Okay. So if you ask me, two texters, maybe in my humble opinion, so target could be to shoot at. That's not very nice at all, ever, never. So it looks like we could stay in one's lane, could be like resist the something. Alternative to citronella candle, it would be DEET. Higher in rank. You can see that right there. The question mark rank, maybe smellier. I guess it didn't have to be. We got our alma mater showing up in here. And my actual graduate school, my first graduate school alma mater shows up in here a lot. TCU gets into the grid quite often. I always like that. I like to think that it's somebody's like an alumnus or that they graduated from it. Literature, how about letters? And Canada's, that would be Terra Nova National Park. All right, so do some basic math, maybe to add. And I honestly can't think of anything else that's basic. There's 3 letters for that. You could squeeze some in there somehow, but that might be a bit of a stretch. Sign at a gas station. Maybe error? I probably would have put an ATM in there. So stay in one's lane looks like it may be to resist the merge. Interesting. Use a Clorox wipe-on, say maybe de-germ? I don't think I've ever used that term. I don't doubt that it's something people use. I've just never used it. De-germing. Glooming could be dreary. And so then brings in could be earns. And one celebrating Ethiopian Christmas, January 7th. Kind of a trick question. It would be a rust. So Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. And I think that's Stan Laurel. And isn't it Oliver Hardy? I remember watching them as a kid, but God, it had been 40 years since the movie was made when even I was a child. That goes back a while. They fill up a lot. I don't know. Heats to just below a boil as milk, and that would probably be to scald. And here, fill up a lot. One place to redeem tickets. I have no idea. Org that awards the Paw of Courage for canine heroism. I bet this is the American Kennel Club. Retain. I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I'm probably a leave in, but I don't know. Could be leave on? Leave? I don't know. Told some jokes, say... Surgical aids, no way for me to know here. So, one place to redeem tickets. I guess this could be an arcade, and that's a bit of a tricky one there. I would have not considered that. So they fill up a lot. Maybe cars, and so we gotta retain. Yeah, so we do have a leave of some sort, but what? It follows October could be a fest. Altogether possible. Vehicle in 2020's Nomad Land. I wouldn't know, but I'm going to assume we're talking about a van down by the river. So, told some jokes, say, how about did a set? One of these days I'm going to write a set. I'm going to actually write a show. And I'm going to go do it because I've never done that before, and I think it'd be a gas to do a stand-up thing. Surgical aids. How about stents? And so I don't even know where to begin with the Cliff's Notes version of Holmes and Watson's stories. So it might have guest in its name. Oh. That could be a talent. So let's see where that gets us. So we got ourselves a leave in. It could be an O2 though. Retain, you could leave on. Leave in. I don't know. In probably sounds better. Okay, let's see what we got here. So soft mineral could be a talc. And so looks like we have mysteries. Well, we got Sherlock Holmes to contend with there too. So mag staffers. How about eds as in editors? So then here, Middlemarch author. Well, we're talking about none other than Eliot. And it might have guest in its name. And now I'm kind of seeing where that's going. And that's also kind of a tricky one. Free Wi-Fi. I never really think about it much. Figure on a Wyoming license plate, and that would be a cowboy. Speaking of how'd we do, Bob? Colonel Michelle Voorhees, one of our community members, who I've actually deployed to Iraq with, she found it. I'm not sure how she found it again, but she found, so how'd we do, Bob? In a 2014 movie called Sabotage. I've never seen it. It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's right at about 25 minutes in, and I found it on YouTube. So I just fast forwarded 25 minutes, and sure enough, they're going through a shoot house. It's a group of cops or some sort of agency, and they're working on clearing rooms and making sure they do it safely. And at the end of it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's their coach or their boss or somebody, he's like sizing them up after look at the performance of them clearing the rooms in the shoot house. And one of the agents said, "So how do we do, Bob?" So I don't believe that's where I got it, since I've never seen the movie. And I know that I've been seeing and hearing this phrase since probably the 1970s or 80s. So I don't know, but it's kind of fun to hear somebody else say it. Woohoo could be a big old yay. And weapon, fashion, accessory for animation, Sailor Moon. And I guess we're talking about a tiara. And so ambrosia salad ingredients. And I guess the only thing I can think of really would be oranges. So maybe that'll work. Start to wear could be to fray. Darts or billiards, maybe bar game. Bump. So support on a lease. Perhaps we're going to cosign. Nice grid. It's got a nice little gait to it. It's just cheerful. It's chipper. This has got a good personality. Camera choice and brief. Going with the SLR. And so feature of a yurt, but not a TP. I actually stayed in a yurt for about 4 months in Kazakhstan. Feature of a yurt, but not a TP. I'm assuming we're talking about a roof. And wire holder, maybe a spool. Designer specialty. Well, I think we're focusing on decor here. Headline about a falsely incriminated person casting a ballot. Well, that could be voter framed. So, okay. Summer setting in Somerset for short, and probably Eastern Daylight Time. So get along in years could be to age, yes. Lest we forget that if we're lucky, we'll be aging. Lest we forget. Member of a choir, how about an alto? More intrusive. Could be a couple of things there, couldn't it? Lawrence of Arabia star. I'm not an actor. I'm a movie star. Angela Lansbury was nominated for 18 of them, winning none. Well, now that just sucks. Gonna go with Emmys. I can't imagine of them. Bit of concert stage equipment. Perhaps we're talking about an amp. And a bog deposit could be peat. And also one of those ingredients that makes some Scotch lovers just go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, really. Rule the roost. Doggy catcher, I guess a lasso. And 2010 comedy inspired by the Scarlet Letter. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue. Principle behind yin and yang, and I guess we're talking about the Tao. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to go with that. Maybe it's an easy A. It seems like I remember hearing or seeing that poster. More intrusive now. I think we're getting a hint as to a bit of nosiness. Caesar's dressing, probably et tu. In Shakespeare, dunderheads. How about morons? Okay, morons. All right, so turns inside out. Maybe inverts. So you were in a 4G dive with the MiG-28. What was your position when we were inverted? Because we got a great Polaroid of it. Kept watch on, perhaps eyed. Overwatch, gawked. Yeah, it was a pretty clever clue from yesterday. And again, way to go, Katie. That was an excellent grid. Powerful engine. How about a V10? Don't see them much. I think those Dodge trucks had them for a while. Director Efron, maybe a Nora. So common conjunctions, ands, and Dartmouth's colorful nickname, and I think that is Big Green. Though calling anything at Dartmouth big would be like saying of my graduate, my initial graduate alma mater is Big TCU. There's nothing big about it. It's very small, expensive private schools, and it's big, not a thing. Classic breakup excuse or a phonetic hint to 23, 36, maybe it's not you, it's me. So, and that is a cheesy thing. Nullifying, okay, maybe voiding? I was thinking maybe it could be vetoing, but then I'm like, no. Parts of baby weights could be ounces. Exudes could be oozes. Red part of rhubarb. I'm thinking this is probably the stem. Philippine currency is the peso. So delivered a nasty insult with perfect timing. Oh, no idea. Pablo Neruda's blank to my socks. I do believe that's ode to my socks. I need to refamiliarize myself with that. Like the Kama Sutra, I think we could be talking about erotische, or erotic. I don't know why I felt the urge to say that in German, but I did. Army rank above a corporal, that would be a buck sergeant. Very nice. And so month known for political surprises. How about October? And a gummy candy company, when that would be Haribo, right here in Germany. Toiled on a long ship, maybe. Grain used in Italian cuisine. I think we're probably looking for farro. We'll check it though. Jackson or Jackman. How about actor? So then let's see, some 6-packs. Well, we can't lengthen the word abs, so let's go with ales. Obscures maybe could be to fog. And then, so too bad for me. My loss? Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. REO Speed, heard it from a friend who... Yeah, REO Speedwagon. Claim in a courtroom. How about we allege? Liqueur in a spritz. How about Aperol? So polite, I'll pass. How about no ma'am? No ma'am. Cut short. Mo? Oh, you don't know. Word after crash or read. Or cash. Maybe cash only? Which could be the national motto for Germany and most of Europe, really. You know, nehmen Sie Karte? Oh, nein. Leider nicht. Okay. Well, I don't have any bargeld. Well, then you don't get any product. There we go. Yeah, got it. So, I don't even know what this could be. Delivered a nasty insult with perfect timing. Maybe nailed the diss moment. Kind of feels like it would be right. Oklahoma's wheat capital would be Enid. Also home to a very large Air Force base. Beautifully emotive. Perhaps we're speaking of that which is poetic. And now what have I missed on here? Impressive array could be it is a panoply apparently. And crude cavity, I guess an oil well. And suffice. Oh boy, thrill could be to elate. I don't know about you, but some of you Hawkeyes out there might have noticed there's a lot of elation going on in our grid constructions these days. It's always fascinating to me how that happens. Vivid shade of yellow, and I'm thinking canary. Disc jockey, DJ, non-binary. I wouldn't even know where to start. Warm, in a sense, maybe near. Colder. Okay, warmer. Oh, and I'm getting cold. Planks can build them. Well, now we have room for abs. Yeah, sure. Best impression of a Springfield patriarch. What do you think that ER down there is the end of Homer? I don't know. Let's see. Matilda. Gosh, who did write that? That was Roald Dahl. Sometimes it takes me a minute, you know. Wow. Pentagon Division. How about the Department of Defense to start? Kind of boot. I have no idea. Hockey player who wears number 1 traditionally would be a goalie. So Hamilton's co-star Leslie Odom Jr. Neptune is a sea god. So maybe we're talking about a go-go boot. Fun. Summertime in Versailles, Été, and IDs that will never start. 000 or 666. It's a little superstitious, don't you think? I guess we're talking about social security numbers. So the K of the American Kennel Club. Very nice. And let's see. Best impression of a Springfield patriarch. So maybe the finest Homer. Finest Homer. Okay. This is one of those grids where I feel like it'd be really easy to fat finger something and you just didn't notice, you know. How about LASIK for our corrective eye surgery? And let's see. Big name in elevators could be Otis. Dryer detritus, maybe lint. And so this may be men solved mysteries. In the thick of could be amid. So yeah, men solved mysteries. Yeah, so it's like we're putting like a me in place of a you. So instead of resist the urge, resist the merge. Unsolved mysteries, men solved mysteries. Very nice. And it's a victory symbol, could be a V. Wedding cake features tears. Very nice. Now we're getting it through here. When do you need this patched up? Do you have the missing button? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I just can't guess it. I think I'm kind of on to what's going on with the theme, but it's too original. It's doing its own thing, and I'm loving it. So, Morales of the Mission Impossible franchise. What is that, SE or something? Gosh, I can never keep up. That is an E, though. Maybe Emo Pop? I feel like I always need to check these immediately because I'm so used to there being an alt pop, too. In fact, we just had one recently, so I don't know ever, right? We got oat milk here, maybe. When do you need this patched up? Do you have the missing button, etc.? So this could be, instead of underline, maybe Menderline. Menderlines. So Menderlines. Ecosystem for an estimated 25% of all marine species. I guess we're talking about the reef. So that's cool. Slightest amount could be least, and Yaley is an Ely. So straightens up, maybe tidies. Birthplace of Starbucks would be Seattle. And skeptical of big government, say, maybe anti what? App name for a car salesman. How about auto? So I guess maybe anti-tax. Where you might walk down the aisle. I haven't got a clue. How about photo ops? Temporary banish as a college roommate. How about go render them into sexile? Suffice. How about do nicely? Very, very nice done. So you might walk down the aisle on a plane, and I guess we got anti-tax, and I don't know. How do we do, Bob? You know, this was just, again, this was such a nice little trot, if not a right-out canter. Not a gallop, though. There were things that just weren't coming clear, like the plane, for example, or skeptical of big government. Things that I had to put some work into. But I think what we've got here, to me anyway, so we got resist the merge. So we're just taking an ME wherever a U would go. So the title of the puzzle again is Where Do You Go? So resist the urge becomes resist the merge. So it's just an ME thing. So unsolved becomes men solved, and underlines becomes menderlines, and I don't know that. Same with this here. So best impression of a Springfield patriarch, a finest Homer versus a finest hour. So I've absolutely fallen in love with this. This has just really been great. And voter framed versus voter fraud, and nailed the maybe nailed the dismount. So we're going into gymnastics or perhaps certain dressage competitions there. And it's not you, it's me. This is just so beautifully done. Andrew, Colin, Kirk, I don't know if this is your debut into the grid, but I don't remember your name, and it seems like I would definitely remember that name. So if it's your first go-round, then good on you. This is a beautiful Sunday to put in here. And it was probably on the level of a typical Wednesday, which is just perfect, you know. No complaints at all. I mean, nothing whatsoever. And for this being a potentially, and if this is your 30th grid, I'm so sorry for not recognizing your name. But if this is your debut, if this is your christening, if you will, then this is a superb performance. So very, very well done. Bravo, Andrew, Colin, Kirk. And we'll go ahead and bring down our Bennier de adieu. And we'll just close it out by saying I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I know I got such a busy week ahead of me, so I'm going to try to enjoy every moment of this. It is right at 4 p.m. here in Germany, and I am going to get this dressed up and ready for prime time, get it up there and out there for you guys. And then by about 5 o'clock, I will have had my evening shower, and I will be parked in front of the TV until about 9 o'clock, probably binge watching Julia. I don't know what it is about that show, but I just found it. And I'm just so tickled to death about having 2 seasons to just go flying through. But I know it's like overeating at a wedding party. You're going to regret it. And I'm going to regret flying through this series, but I'm loving every second of it. So with that said, until we see you tomorrow for the Monday Grid, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, servus, grüß Gott, ciao, Cin-Cin. Be good to yourselves, your friends, and your neighbors. Be especially kind to the person behind you in the line, and we will see you on the Momo. Till then, be well.